Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and just about everything under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So, first-time viewers, if you want to keep the conversation on the hobby side of things, miniature painting and all that, be sure to ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction I might be in for you. I have no idea. And, of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can submit your questions to Kris at wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness, wayofthebrush.com. It's in the description below. Has the links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversations rolling there. And, of course, there's only one rule in the Discord. Don't be a dick. That's it. That's the only rule. Don't be a dick. Pretty straightforward, I think. Apparently not, though. But anyway. Also at wayofthebrush.com, you'll find links for t-shirts. Ouch. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com, because it's nice to put a name to the face and a face to the name. You'll also find a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, this channel would not be able to continue to do what it is that I do. And so a huge thank you to all my patrons for the continued support and to all you brand new ones as well. Huge thank yous. And of course, speaking of thank yous, much thank yous for Guymere, Alfer, Carl, Beer and Blood Bowl. It's a YouTube channel. Check it out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl's where it's at. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. So always much love to my baby bro Evan. And if you're into rare comics, rare, like not well done, rare, EB Comics, it's in the description below. Check it out. Only if you're serious though. If you're just kind of jokingly, then don't go. Serious, because like it's real. It's only for the real treasure hunters out there. So if you're not a real treasure hunter, then yeah, don't bother. You can pass. Who's joining us today? I can see Evan Belleau. Sup, everybody? Sup? Jobs Left Nut. Afternoon. Jobs Left Nut. Isn't it evening for you? Isn't it tea time? Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Hi, Kris and Monkey. Still hyped about the upcoming Heresy stuff, but I may also have to pick up one or two of the 40k magic decks. The 40k magic decks. I'm not familiar with that. Is that the stickers you're talking about? I'm not familiar with the 40k magic decks. What's the 40k magic decks? You're gonna have to share a link with me. I don't know what that is. I thought I was paying pretty close attention to things these days, but apparently I missed that one. I knew there were stickers, and apparently everybody who has like gotten stickers is in love with them. I was like, when I was small, I was into stickers, but you know, as an adult, no, give me my plushies and all that other stuff, right? I mean, plushies. I just want plushies. I just want nurglings. I just want to fill my room with nurglings. Be buried in nurglings. It's starting to sound dangerously close to like a fetish, isn't it? Sophie, hey monkeys, hey Kris, hey Sophie, Sabrina Butter, morning Kris and peeps, morning. Yeah, so quite a bit to talk about today. Got quite a few emails to get through, and of course, Instagram. So if you want me to read your email today, send it to Kris at wayofthebrush.com. If you want me to have a look at your work on Instagram, use the hashtag #WayOfTheBrush in your descriptions of the video, or of the, the Instagram thing. Where the Instagram stuff, where they gram, but it's instant. That's where you go. You use that hashtag there. And, yeah. Terracotta. Magic the Gathering is crossing with 40k. I'm going to get some. Oh, yeah? Magic the Gathering with 40k. I mean, I've seen that stuff before, the 40k card games. I even used to collect it. Yeah, I'm not much into Magic. Yeah, so But 40K in Magic, sure, sounds like peanut butter and jelly to me. I mean, I know that there are millions of people out there who love Magic the Gathering and, will just keep dropping hundreds and hundreds of dollars into it. And that's fine. That's fine. Reason why, and this is just a very personal reason for me, the reason why I don't do the card games anymore, because I was huge into Doom Trooper. That was a Mutant Chronicles game, if you're not familiar with Mutant Chronicles. But anyway, I used to collect that one. Heavy. I spent tons of money on that. I had, like, boxes and boxes of cards, and just, it was ridiculous. And my brother-in-law and my other buddy, we were all playing it all the time. Like, every weekend we were playing for, like, hours and hours and hours. And, and after a while, and it was probably around the time that I was getting into, what the heck was the 40K one called back in the day? Just the 40K collectible card game? Battle in Pandora Prime. That's what it was called. I'm sorry, I was looking at the box. And I realized that it was, trying to import the tabletop experience into a card format. And I just, like, after a while, and especially, like when you're spending, like, I don't know, like $5-10 on a pack of cards that you already have all the cards, you know what I mean? Like, it just, that felt like a waste to me. And playing a card experience of the game, the tabletop game that I already play, felt like an even bigger waste, because why play the card game when I can just simply play the actual game, right? Why spend a whole bunch of money on just cards, just paper, as opposed to actually buying a miniature, painting it, and playing it? You know what I mean? Like, and putting a bit of myself into it, right? There's, like, I realize that, collectible card games and such are big business, and, millions of people love it, and, there's a lot there, but other than the actual card itself, there's nothing else tangible to it. There's nothing, there's no expression. Now, again, this is coming from me, so I mean, like, as an artist, I like miniatures because I can do anything with them, right? I can chop them up, I can assemble them like the box, or I can convert them, I can use the parts in other places, I can do anything, I can paint them in any color schemes I want, whatever it is, it's really, the limit is my imagination, right? But with a card, that's it. There's no modifying it. And in fact, you do everything you can in your power to ensure the preservation of that card, right? You buy the little sleeves to protect it, right? Which is also another, third-party market that, I'm sure stands to gain a lot of ground as new people enter the Magic the Gathering sphere and, come in from 40K and, all that. So, I mean, I'm not knocking it. I know people love it, but it's not really for me. It's the same thing with, like, a lot of video games. I used to be really big into video games when I was a kid, but nowadays, not so much, Not that I don't have time for it, it's just, I don't know. Something about it sometimes just doesn't engage me, it's just, yeah. I'd rather sit around and think deep thoughts. Basically just space out and think deep thoughts. Ebb and flow stickers. That's kid shit. I'm all about plushies, grown people things. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, like, there's nothing more manly. There's nothing more manly than plushies. I mean, going gaga over a little plushie and just losing your mind as soon as you see these little things, you're like, ah, and there's nothing more manly than that, especially when you have, like, when they open up the big box and there's a whole bunch of them, they're all in their little wrap and everything like that, and you're like, ah, right? You love it. You can't help but love it. And yeah, I mean, plushies. This is my fetish. I have some other ideas for stuff too that I want to do. I'm usually not running short on ideas. What I'm usually running short on is the resources to see my visions forward. But anyway, yeah, something akin to that. Anyway, Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Not really into Magic myself, but Commander decks have piqued my interest, usually more into Yu-Gi-Oh! As far as card games go. Yeah, see, and I don't recall my son ever being into Yu-Gi-Oh! I know he had some decks and stuff like that when he was small, but I don't really remember him like, getting right into it, you know? And yeah, so, you know, again, it like the cards, you know, I mean, like collecting all these cards, it like when I was really, really young, kids were always losing their minds about baseball cards, hockey cards, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, that's another one. I mean, collecting cards, baseball cards, hockey cards, whatever, of sports, right? And I don't know, it doesn't really pique my interest. You know what I mean? Like, it just, meh, okay. Yeah, he's your favorite hero. He's your favorite athlete, and here's all his stats. And here's an action pose of him, you know, catching a ball or whatever, right? Okay, sure, right? But you know, it's not really my bag. I think also too because I don't idolize, right? I don't really have people I look up to. The people I look up to are already moved on to the spirit world. There's not many left on Earth. And they're people I know. Those are the only people. So like celebrities, athletes, politicians, whatever. They're nothing to me as far as wanting to emulate or idolize, look up to. You know? Because they're just people. They're just people. There's nothing special about any of them. Not one human being breathing right now. There's nothing special about them. Nothing. They're the same material as everybody else. Maybe some less than others. But, yeah. They're just people. Right? And so, like, when you see these celebrities behaving poorly, well, they're just people. And people behave poorly. Look at this world. All you gotta do is stick your head out the fucking window and look around, and yeah, people being people. You know? So no, I don't look up to celebrities, politicians, entertainers, athletes, anything like that. No, nine. Sophie, I'll stick with tabletop miniatures and role-playing games like D&D. Yeah, exactly, right? Because, you know, it's the imagination. Like, what is the narrative in a Magic the Gathering game? Like, what is what is the story? Like, in 40K, you can tell a story in the game. You can tell a story, right? D&D, huge imagination. Tabletop games, Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, stuff like that, you know, it seems like a lot of times people push the narrative to the side and are just more concerned about how effective a unit is or how many points it is, or, you know what I mean? And everybody's really kind of focused in on that when they're forgetting the wider aspects of gameplay, of the hobby itself. Yes, that is a part of it, and for some it is a big part of it. That's fine. Not everybody goes about this the same way. But it feels like the community for actual narrative play is very, very small. Like, really, really small. And it feels like when you bring up narrative play, people roll their eyes. Which I don't understand. I don't understand why that is. You know, like when you're playing Magic the Gathering, what is the narrative that's happening? What is the greater context of this conflict between the two players? Right? Warhammer 40,000, Space Marines against Eldari, you can already drop a narrative for the reason for the conflict. And of course, you can always fine-tune it, reasons and, you know, what have you, motives and all these things. But then it's really, really straightforward. But in Magic the Gathering, or any other card games for that matter, what is the reason for the conflict? What is the narrative? What is the story you're telling? Right? I think it's just a greater context of things. So D&D, tabletop miniatures, you know, yeah, great storytelling devices, you know, And we all love storytelling, because we wouldn't lose our minds over TV shows about our favorite IP. We wouldn't lose our minds over, video games and movies about our favorite IP, right? And millions turn up for it. Star Wars, right? The narrative. Yes, the action is lots of fun, the pew pew, but we are also very concerned about the story. And so in card games, what is the narrative for the conflict? Yes, I'm sure that the universe itself has a greater narrative, but on a one-to-one basis, between two players, do people go that far into drawing a narrative for their conflict in the game? Because 40K, it's pretty easy. Even Space Marine on Space Marine, even Space Marine Ultramarine versus Ultramarine, you can draw up a narrative pretty easily. Especially for those who are well steeped in the lore, right? So, I'm just curious. I mean, for any of you diehard Magic the Gathering fans, let me know. I imagine there's probably one or two of you out there. Machias Schemes. Plenty of people modify cards, alter the art. Right, but if they alter the card and modify the card, can they play in official events? I realize, it would be cool to make your own cards, but you can't, go into a tournament or whatever with that modified card. Whereas in Warhammer and Age of Sigmar, you can modify the model and it's still legal, right? I'm pretty sure. It's just, I think a lot of them frown on the 3D printed and proxies and stuff like that. But modifying, if I reposed my avatar of Kane, it's still legal. It's just a repose. That's a conversion, because I've converted the original stock model, right? But yeah, this is just my observation. This is how I feel about this stuff. I mean, Evan Belleau, not gonna lie, I bought Brock a plushy Nurgling, manly. Yeah, it is manly. And if he sleeps with it every night, I realize he's not, a little kid, but but if he sleeps with it every night, there's nothing unmanly about that. He likes to be surrounded by little squishy Nurglings. The lore for Nurglings is just too much fun. They're just like little kids. They describe them like little kids, just giggling and laughing, but they're mischievous little imps. And they're just, you know what I mean? Like, you imagine them, like if I was sitting here at my desk, I'd imagine one is opening up all my paint pots and spilling all my paint. Another one's licking all my brushes. Another one is crawling into my computer. Another one's dangling off my lights. You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of, impish things that, you imagine Nurglings to be doing, right? And it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Ghost of Starman, episode 380. This is my fetish. Fuck it, we're doing it. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Okay, you know what? Ghost, you win. You win. You win. Let's edit it there. This is my fetish. I do enjoy my fetishes. I don't even know if that's a real song. It's not, I know. Oh, man. Legion. Leggin. Leg Ion. Not much into magic myself, but the artwork in art books can really fun. Creative Seb McKinnon comes to mind. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, like enjoying the artwork. I mean, enjoying the artwork is a completely different thing though from the card game itself, right? Like just like Warhammer 40,000, or even these battle tomes, right? Like there's all sorts of beautiful cover art and artwork in these books, but that's not the army. That's not the game, right? That's separate. Appreciating the art is separate from appreciating the sculpt, which is separate from appreciating the rules, which is you know what I mean? Like there's different aspects of that whole thing, but I'm looking at the greater whole, right? The greater whole? Anyway, sorry, I'm getting a little sweaty. She's getting warm in my parts. Like area, not my parts. Well, maybe my parts too. Anyway. Sophie, campaigns are best narrative games, yelling a story over a series of skirmishes leading up to all-out battle. Yeah, exactly. exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. David Patelia. That's the beauty of orcs. They fight everyone, especially other orcs. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, yeah, like in Warhammer 40,000, I mean, it's not difficult to drum up an excuse for why, any two factions are fighting, right? So that's the beauty of getting into the lore and getting into the universe and everything like that. Like, you wouldn't be able to drop that greater context for, like, okay, a game of chess. Why is one side fighting the other side? Right? What is the greater context? What is the narrative? What is the reason behind this strategic conflict? Right? It doesn't matter. It's not part of the game, right? So, but I'm just saying as an example of just kind of the game mechanic, and enjoying the game for the game itself, as opposed to many aspects and many layers of tabletop gaming, right? Because tabletop gaming has so many layers to it that, one can enjoy. Again, the hobby is not just one thing, right? Being into Age of Sigmar or Warhammer 40,000 or whatever it is not just one thing. It's not just, yeah, I like the miniatures. Yeah, I like the lore. Yeah, I like the gameplay. Yeah, I like, this. I like, it's not one thing. It's an appreciation of a greater whole, but, it's varying degrees of enthusiasm for every aspect. But otherwise, you are very familiar with all these other aspects of it, right? So, anyway. Ghost. Victory. The context of chess is just racism if you squint a bit. Sure. Well, I was a little remiss to just simply call it the black and white of chess, right? Because, yeah, typically chess is white pieces and black pieces, and you're right. But, because, I mean, like, realistically, that is not important to chess as far as playing it, right? Because those pieces could be red and blue, right? Gray and lighter gray. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They could be marble and metal. It doesn't matter, right? Those elements of a chessboard do not play a factor in playing the game, right? Versus when we paint up our little Space Marines and they're red, and you're going to play them as Blood Angels. Yeah, it all makes sense. Where you start to break people's brains, though, is if you paint your Space Wolves yellow. Then people's brains are like, I don't get it. Does not compute. Let's have a look. What is going on with the G-Dub side of things? We got Night Haunt pre-orders for the Battle Tomes. Sisters of Cain. Is there Sisters of Cain? Daughters of Cain. War Scroll cards for the Night Haunt. Night Haunt dice. Ooh, pretty. Ulrich the Drowner. This model cracks me up. This model is hilarious. And I'm sure we're going to see lots of pictures of people posting today and onward of this model. I dig it. It's funny. And yeah, that ore is deadly. It's a deadly ore. It's a deadly ore. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. There's a Space Marine standing next to this guy. Why wasn't it Age of Sigmar? Why wasn't it Stormcast? Isn't the Stormcast the default for Age of Sigmar? Wouldn't it make more sense to show a Stormcast, to give an idea how big this guy is? He's not as big as I thought. I mean, I didn't think he was gigantic, but I mean, he's still cool. It doesn't take anything away from it, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. But I'm not sure why it's a Space Marine silhouette, just to show the scale. But I like this. I think Games Workshop should do more of this for their model pictures. There should be a little picture like this just to give people an idea what size of model it is, and just so they kind of get an idea, and so people aren't building up false expectations of I want this guy. He's riding a boat and it's like a big half of a battleship and he's huge, he's gigantic, he's a monstrous creature. And then you get it and it's like, oh, he's just a little feller. Oh. You know what I mean? I like this, though. I think this is pretty cool. Although, I don't think it should have been a Space Marine as the allegory for, scale. I think it should have been a Stormcast Eternal, context within the game universe type of thing. But here's another interesting thing, right? You cannot confuse that black shape. Like, that's a Space Marine. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about the silhouette of models. Right? That Space Marine. Those shapes. That's indistinguishable from anybody else's miniature lines. Like, that's a Space Marine. That's a Space Marine. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I think they should do more of these kind of little things. What else are we looking at here on the pre-order side of things? A bunch of miniatures, Ulrich the Drowner, Ethereal Court, Fire Slayers. Ooh. See, I would get into Fire Slayers if there was more units, like stuff, and just more varied, things on them. Running with their theme, of course, but yeah. Anyway. Deepkin, Vanguard. Now, I assume this is the same as the Get Started box. I don't remember the Get Started box having the shark in it, though. Because I've got the Get Started box, the old Get Started box. And it had Buddy there. And then it has the Thralls. The Eels. I don't remember a shark being in it, though. But I can't think of what was in the box before. Before Halloween, before. Anyway. Middle Earth stuff. Easterling dice set. The Fortress of Dol Guldur. Dumb names. Lots of Lord of the Rings stuff. Pretty darn cool. Ooh, dragon. Books. White Dwarfs. Cards. Ooh, Orlok Vehicle Gang Card Tactics. Ooh. Data cards for Imperial Knights. Yeah. All sorts of stuff today for pre-order. The Knight Tyrant. Knight Castellan. Knight Valiant. Pretty cool. Yeah, I want more Slayer stuff. These Fire Slayers. I want more stuff for them. More units. More variation on that theme. But I imagine, they will, right? Eventually there'll be more crap coming out for them, and but still, it'd be nice. They just got a few more things coming in, right? B-Man, ahoy, ahoy. Legion, I love the boat, dude. Such a nice model. Yeah, exactly, right? It's a cool looking model, and according to his rules, he's a bit of a jerk. Ghost of Starman Deluxe Primaris coming to Age of Sigmar confirmed. LOL. Is it confirmed? Are Space Marines coming to Age of Sigmar? I think it could be. Could be. I'm not really one for conspiracy theories, but that is possible. It is possible. It's entirely possible. What time are we at here? Holy camolies, 12:30. Let's jump over to the Instagrams. I don't have an Instagram theme song, so you don't get one. Now, I seen Sophie had posted this. Yeah, it's kind of weird that it showed up here. But anyway, yeah, 2 hours ago. Let's give that a like. This looks like a Klingon. Work in progress of Lursa and Leah. Hey, those are pretty cool. Oh, Leia. I can read. It's Star Trek and Star Wars. Man, that's like a 2-part explosive, isn't it? Really cool. I look forward to seeing more. Are you gonna do like the base, like the deck of a bird of prey? Is that what you're gonna do? Is that what you're gonna do? Possibly. Next pick. The Wannabe Painter. Last Way of the Brush got me curious, so I ordered a can of Canada Dry, and with a little peek on my current project, it is indeed a very good ginger ale. Yeah, I like ginger ale. The only other common one we get around these parts is Schweppes, and I'm not crazy about that one. I don't care for Schweppes. Canada Dry. I like Canada Dry. I like when the carbonation burns your tongue. Yeah, let me scroll down here. Let's pass some of this stuff. Let's get back into here. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. Next one is from our good buddy Huron Belmont, aka B-Man. Let's give that a like. Yes. Is there more pictures? Oh, there's only one picture. I like the gold. It's nice and clean. Black. Nice work on the face. The purple. Just works really well with that golden yellow. Yeah, it looks really good, man. I dig it. I kind of wish there was more pictures. I wanted to see more pictures. Oh, look at this. This one's from Simply Mini Painting. More endless spells. Ravenex Gnashing Jaws. Let's give that a like. I like your work on the teeth. I like that really soft gradient in there. And I like how it blends up into that purpley magenta value. And then I like how it goes from that magenta to the blue. I think you gotta let that gradient linger just a little bit further. But, it doesn't hurt it at all. Yeah, that's really good. The teeth is what really draws me in. Yeah, I like it. And it's kind of a hilarious piece. Just this flaming mouth flying at somebody. What's this? Alex, another commission job to cleanse the palette. Whoops, spiders. Yeah, I was recently tempted. When I was up north quite a few months back, I stopped by a local gaming place, and in their display cabinet they had warp spiders that I had painted like 20 years ago, and over 20 years ago. And I was thinking about actually maybe contacting them, see if they're still available. I might buy them back because they were actually still in pretty good shape. I posted it on my Instagram pictures. Oh, it's a metallic in the body. Oh, very cool. I like the little gradient in the guns too. I like that. Oh, got some freehanding going on in the backpacks. Very nice. I like your work on the gemstones too. Yeah, really good work. Are they metal or are they fine cast? Not that it matters, but some asshole picked up the book. It's a good book. Whoops. There we go. This one's from our good buddy. Oh, I've already liked it. Greenleaf Terrain. Some Gorka Morka buildings. He's upping his photo bug skills. I like the rust streaks running. Looks really good. I like all the texture too. I think that's like the biggest draw of Adam's work is the amount of texture he managed to put in there, and then of course you have that contrast between harder edges and muckier edges and dirtier spots. Yeah, Adam does really good work. The Wannabe Painter. I call this small German tank hunter for bolt action done. I focused a bit heavier weathering because the small tracks only had armored steel plates in the front, and the side plates were regular rolled steel plates and were much more prone to rust. On the tracks, I went for more dried clay like mud that looks like the tank stood a while in ambush position or in a workshop. Let's give that a like. Very cool. So heavy heavy weathering on the tracks. Oh yeah, I like that. I like the little chipping and everything. I think to really add to your weathering process as well is weather your transfers. Just a little bit, just little touches, just little nick and notch, you know, here and there on a transfer, right? Like in the numbers or on the Iron Cross or the unit emblem, you know, just to illustrate that it's painted on, right? To make the viewer believe that, you know, we're looking at the real thing here. Yeah, son of a gun, that's really rusty. Yeah, because like the Iron Cross and the unit emblem, yeah, they feel a little too clean, right? Versus how heavily marked up the armor is, right? Just an idea. And so be thoughtful of it, right? So like, for example, you know, where it's, you know, the yellow ochre color, you know, you just take some of that color before you go into your weathering process, and then just, you know, notch out just tiniest of little spaces here and there. Always using the rule, less is more, right? See, like the number, it feels like it's weathered, but I get the feeling that is part of the transfer. Like the red has a lot of the like little white spaces in it, and the white does not feel like it's notched out. I don't know. I don't have these transfers, but like the Iron Cross is just too clean, and I think it would definitely could be better served if some areas were just like little notched out, and, you know, showing some of that brown, showing some of that yellow in some of the spaces, right? Just an idea. Moving forward, I'm not saying repaint this. Don't touch this. Do not. But in the future. Yeah. Oh, I like that. I like the work on that sliding plate there on the roof, right in the middle. I like that, how you deliberately created like the gouges and how it would look if it was actually, you know, sliding back and forth. That's a nice touch. That's a really nice touch. Look like just dried up little mud cakes. Yeah, these are really, really cool. I dig them. Simply mini painting, little change of pace, some endless spells, a suffocating gravetide, and a prismatic palisade. Let's give that a like. Yeah, I like the rainbow. I like too that you didn't feel it necessary to blend them across. They feel like just, you know, colored crystals all coming up in a group. I think that's really interesting. Because like if I was to do this, yeah, I probably would have just went with the typical blending across the rainbows, but I like that you kept them all separate, like there's like boundary lines in them. Yeah, it works really well. They look kind of tasty, actually. It's like candy pops. Remember candy pops? Oh, is that just the one thing? Oh, you lied. You said there was suffocating gravetide and prismatic. What is going on here? Oh, some asshole showing off his desk. Carol Joe. No text. Doesn't need any. Shadow Specters. Very cool. I like the work on the rock. I like that multi-varied tones in the rock like that. That's really cool. Yeah. I think I would have picked out that face plate. You know, like how they got the helmet, but then the face is kind of separate. I think I would have picked that out in an opaque color. Oh, you kind of didn't, or maybe you didn't. The one there looked like his faceplate was picked out in a different color. Yeah, I think I would have picked that out in a color. I think I would have gone with like a light gray or a white or something. You know, something that wouldn't have pushed too heavy. But then again, something to draw the eye in as well, right? But that'd be it. I like that silver and purple. The light blue on the guns is nice. And I think the crystals, if you'd have kept a lighter blue, not push too hard a blue. Yeah. Similar value of like what you have as far as like what the OSL is on the guns. Yeah. I don't think it was necessary to push it that hard a blue on the big crystal in the main body of the gun. No, I don't think so. There's one from B-Man. Hired gun for upcoming Necromancer campaign. Yeah, I gotta get myself some hired guns. I just need all the Necromancer. Really nice work. Nice and clean. Yeah. How long a break did you take, B? Oh, you even got some of the goggles to do a little bit of a gem-like effect. That's cool. That's cool. How long a break did you take, B, from the hobby? This one is from Greenleaf Squig Pit. Let's give it a like. Little squig in the corner. Yeah, I saw this piece up close. And I had made comments about, like, I thought this piece was a fairly big one because I think we looked at this like a couple weeks ago and it wasn't painted yet. And I was like, this looks huge. Like, this looks like a big piece. And then I saw it in person. I was like, oh, this really isn't that big. And then, of course, you realize, you're looking at a squig there, or a grot, and you can kind of approximate how big this piece is, right? So, yeah. It's still good, though. Doesn't take anything away from it. It's just, I thought it'd be bigger. Red pools of Grr. Looks like a nice vacation spot. Really. Ruin Abbey and Cloister set? Oh, we already gave this one a like. Oh, have we already? No. Carol Joe. Mogan Ra. Very cool. I like the little bit of purple in a cloak like that. I like that. I like how you did the rocks and the runes and everything like that. I like that. How they blend between the greens and the browns. That's a nice touch. It's a good way to kind of separate the model from the base. Yeah. Very interesting. Good stuff. Kevin Cabal, Reaper Bones Chaos Warrior. I'm still not sure what this dude actually named, but he has a very 80s Warhammer Fantasy Battle Chaos Warrior vibe going on that I totally love, and I went with the traditional cornate red gold colors for his armor. I figured since he was a Chaos Warrior, he needed more skulls on his base, so I busted out my trusty box o' skulls and went to town. I think he has a total of 20 skulls between the ones on his base and the ones on his armor and shield. Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. Let's have a look. Ooh, look at that. You know what? Like, you describe it as like, a lot of skulls, but when you look at it, it's like, it's not that many. There's skulls, I guess. I really like the shield. The color blend in those reds and the shadows up to the high points in the face, it's just really good. Yeah. Yeah, it's really good, man. Oh, look at the back here. Yeah. Honestly, you know what, though? Okay, the one thing I will mention, I would not change it, but in the future, if you were concerned for such things, the fur of his cloak, I don't know if I would have pushed it such a saturated red. If you wanted to keep it red, I don't think it needed to be that saturated a red, because it kind of hides his head. And I think you want to use that fur to frame the head. Know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, that's only if we're getting really into the weeds about, miniature painting. If you're just having fun painting it up, well then, mission accomplished. Disco Mini Painter, another hour on non-metallic metal, this time on the leg armor of my Knight of Shrouds. Give that a like. Oh yes, we're doing some non-metallic metal. Look at this guy. He's a very distinguished gentleman. Yeah, that is very cool. Mm-hmm. Now, do you feel like you are getting the handle on non-metallic metal? Because again, like that, like what you're doing on the sword and the armor and stuff like that, like that's the shorthand version of non-metallic metal, right? It's a great starting point for those looking to get more proficient at non-metallic metal surfaces. Basically, it's a good way of getting into like the headspace of how light interacts on a surface, right? Because essentially, all painting is light on a surface. How light interacts with a surface, and then painting what you see, right? Which is why it's kind of hard challenge to create those surfaces on miniatures on made up surfaces, right? Because, you know, like for example, if a Space Marine's armor was glossy and he was on a, you know, desert world with a red sky, what would the armor look like? If his armor was really, really glossy, or even to the point of being mirror, right? So, yeah. Oh, did I give that one a like? Yes, I did. Roll apple, roll apple, roll alpeel. Anyway, an amethyst wizard known as a necromancer from my Warhammer Empire army. I can now finally use the lower of death on the tabletop. I like all the little roses on this stuff. I don't know, like, call me old school, but I like when there's roses on these things. I like the color scheme. I think you can ease up a little bit on your edge highlight. I think I can like how I see your movement of moving the paint on the surface. I think you got to thin your paint down just a little bit, just a touch, and commit to a longer brush stroke. Not so much like a sketching motion, but more of a big brush stroke kind of thing, right? I'm not saying go ham and just start slapping paint on it, but sometimes that is all it takes is to get into the confidence of where you're placing your paint, right? But yeah. Oh, look at this. This is from our good buddy Kim, the Slaanesh twins. Are they twins? They look like twins. Oh, it's two versions of the same kit, right? Yeah. Really like your work on the cloth. Yeah, it's really good. Crackly base. Jeez, look at those mitts on this guy. I'm just kidding, Kim. The second of Slaanesh twins. Yeah, I like it. I like your work on the horns. Yeah. Ooh, got some Gene Stealers going on. Some of my nids from Huron Belmont. Nice. I dig it. Greenleaf Terrain, Swampy Ruins. Oh, it's just the one picture? It's just the one picture. Simply Mini Painting, inspired by Duncan Rhodes' Xenomorph video. Give it a like. Very cool. I like the blades. I like how it transitions from that bone color out to the glowing energy. I assume it's glowing energy. I have no idea. I'm just speculating. Yeah. Oh, we already seen this one. I was going to say, this guy looks familiar. But yeah, we've already seen this. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, we saw that. Very, very cool. Thank you, everybody, for sharing that. Let me double check, see if there was any late posts. If you want to be part of this segment, use the hashtag #WayOfTheBrush in your posts on Instagram. Don't have to tag me in any of the posts. Just use the hashtag, and when I do this portion of the show, I will get to it. Hopefully. Maybe. Was that it? I thought there was something else, because I did a quick scan through here, and I thought there was something here I didn't see. I was like, I don't remember seeing that. Apparently not. Nope, okay. Yeah, I am caught up. Very, very cool. Thank you, everybody, for sending stuff in. Where the hell am I? Sophie, showing the love for both franchises. Sure, right? Some would argue you're sitting on the fence, which to support. But I'm with you, Sophie. I'm with you. 100% I'm with you. Because I loves me some Star Wars, and I loves me some Star Trek. I actually haven't watched the latest episode of Strange New Worlds. Okay, here's the question for all you Star Trek fans. What did you think of Picard? Okay. Without any spoilers. And when I've only caught the first episode of Strange New Worlds, but what do you guys think of that one? I have thoughts, but I'll let you guys go first. Fire Drake. I misread the show title. I thought, never mind. Dave Patelia, you should try Cock and Bull ginger ale. Spicy. Cock and Bull? I'm not familiar with it. Send me a link, Dave. Send me a link in Discord or whatever. And, yeah. I'll see if I can find it in my area. In my parts. I'll see if I can find it in my parts. I might have a can somewhere. Micaiah Schemes. Where is up north to you? Where is up north to me? Up north? Well, I'm in Canada, in Ontario. I currently reside by Niagara Falls, but for many years. Well, I was born down this way, but I moved up north, further north of Ontario. Basically, if you're familiar with Michigan, the mitt, right, in the state, right? Well, Sault Ste. Marie is right at the tip of the mitt, so that's where I was. And as far north, I don't know. What do you mean? Like, what's far north? Where is up north to you? Up north? Well, I guess North Pole. I guess we're getting pretty darn close to the North Pole. B-Man, 7 years or so. Yeah, you took a break for about 7 years or so. Okay, yeah, because it seemed like the B-Man disappeared for a bit, whatever, and so it's nice that you're back into this stuff, and getting back into the vibe of it all, I guess. Fire Drake, I was going to show my airbrush trials, but maybe next week. Yeah, please do. Please. Keep them emails rolling in. Night Warden Gaming, I enjoyed Picard. Brings back next-gen memories. Does it? The first season of Picard, I was with it, like, most of the way. I was enjoying it. It was interesting. But that last episode in the first season, it just felt like they just shoehorned a whole bunch of things in. Like, they weren't sure it was going to get another season, or they were just going to end it, and you know what I mean? The second season, it started off really, really good. And in the middle, it really starts to bring more focus into Picard. And then the end, it feels again kind of cliffhanger-y type of, I don't know. Not that there was shoehorning a bunch of things in, but I realized though, like the second season feels like they had a bit more to say, whereas the first season felt like they were trying to attract the longtime fans, but getting them into the current state of Star Trek. I don't know. Picard, starts off really strong, both seasons, and they both kind of end not really that great. Not because it's just bad writing. It just feels like they're just trying to throw too much shit into that last episode. Like, basically, it's like they went 10 seasons, or 10 episodes, but then it's like, well, we're making a show. It's going to run for 20 seasons or 20 episodes. And it's like, oh no, you're only going to do 10. Oh shit. And then so we got to throw in the rest of the half season all into one episode kind of thing, right? And all these, because they don't let a lot of the stuff breathe. Now, the second season of Picard is actually pretty good because, yeah, we do get a little bit more into what makes Picard Picard. And in fact, we probably could have started off that way with the first season. And then the actual first season would have probably played better as a second season, as we played more into the universe, right? It would have been nice if with Picard, we started off with Picard in his present time, and then Q comes in, fucks with him, and says, no, we're going back in time. Bang, boom, and all of a sudden, bang, and he's back in the same bullshit again, right? 30 years later, he's still in the same fucking bullshit with Q. And then, you move forward from that point. And then the first season, or how the first season plays out, would have tracked, I think, a little bit better as we got into Picard and, what makes Picard Picard, right? So, yeah. It's just the way I felt about that, the whole Picard stuff. But Strange New Worlds, what do you guys think of that one? Sophie, have not seen the first episode yet, but seen a couple of trailers and it seems okay. I watched the first episode of Strange New Worlds. I have not watched the second one. I'm pretty sure there's a second one, right? Because it comes out like Thursday or something like that. Anyway, I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably watch it this afternoon. The first episode though, it has a lot to say. It is still that kind of J.J. Abrams Star Trek universe that was created. It's not, but the thing is though, is the storytelling is more like classic Star Trek. It's more episodic, which is interesting in this day and age to go back to taking Star Trek back to its storytelling roots, not its visual roots. Its visual roots I think are long gone, but the storytelling, the way it was done before. The episode has a beginning and an end. And then I'm sure we'll also have some recurring storylines throughout episodes that will play a small part. But otherwise, the episode has them going to some strange new place, having an encounter, moral of the story, and then we're on to next week. And I like those. I think those are really, really good. It's a fun way of storytelling. And Star Trek, historically has done it well, Now, mind you, I mean, like, DS9 with its recurring, by about the third season of DS9, it gets into more recurring storylines and what is that called? It's not episodic, it's a continual storytelling. I can't remember what the word is for it though, but anyway, it's more like that, right? Whereas Star Trek the original, Star Trek Next Generation, and the beginning of DS9 were like episodic episodes, right? An episode had a beginning and an end, whereas later on as DS9 changes, it's recurring storytelling, right? And Voyager kind of does more episodic, but there is still some of that recurring stuff. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's just interesting in this day and age to go back to like more of an episodic type of storytelling, and I like it. So I'm gonna check out the second episode. And yeah, and maybe I'll talk about it next time, or I won't. Especially if everybody doesn't give a shit. Fire Drake. Season 2 of Picard was a waste. Too many episodes not going anywhere. Should have been a 2-hour special or something. Plus plot holes galore. Well, there's always going to be plot holes because, I mean, it's the nature of making TV shows and not sticking to a particular script or device, or having an overall vision for what the season or what the story of Picard should be, right? Because oftentimes people's come and go into these series, and you know, like one person was like, yeah, we're gonna do this with Picard, we're gonna make him look like this, and so they start doing a couple episodes, then they get shit canned, and so somebody else comes in to finish the job, and he's like, no, Picard really should be this way, and so, you know, and it changes course, and then of course that creates all sorts of conflicts within the storytelling, right? It's too many cooks in the kitchen. So yeah, I get it. The second season, was a waste with too many episodes not going anywhere. I don't know about not going anywhere. I mean, it begins off really interesting, where, you know, obviously Q messing with him, which was fantastic. And then, of course, them dealing with that alternate reality was really interesting. Then going to the past, interesting, right? Having something to say there. And then, of course, and then as well telling, you know, the motivations of Picard. Again, like I said, this second season really should have been how we began with the first season, and then this first season should have been the second season, and with a longer story about just basically, you know, the conflict and with the androids, right? So yeah, I think they got their seasons mixed up. The first season should have been the second season, and the second season should have been the first season. But anyway, but yeah, 2-hour special. I don't know if it should have been a 2-hour special, because I mean, like, there is a lot there to explore, and I think really the big waste is not making Q fucking with Picard one last time more prevalent throughout the episodes. And it felt more like, yeah, it was more callback to previous things, right? So yeah, and I don't really care for that. Again, it's more, that's more in line with that J.J. Abrams style of storytelling. Just having, you know, your MacGuffin, and then, ooh, what's the MacGuffin? And you know what I mean? And then nothing's ever resolved. And I think that's why the ends of the seasons are kind of just shoehorning in a bunch of ideas into it, because they didn't have an idea from the start, and that's just bad storytelling. That's bad storytelling. You should have a point, right? It should, even if it's a slow walk there, because even some stories where it's a slow burn, that's fine. I'm you know, I mean, because then when you're relying on something that has a slow burn to it, you're relying on the performance of your actors to keep it compelling, make the drama more personal, right? And draw us all in. And that's where the importance of actors comes in, is because they're the vessel in which we are immersed into the story, right? At least in movies and TV, not in books. Books, you're sitting there reading all the bullshit, right? So, yeah. But anyway. Ghost Starman, got to split dinner time. Oven busted. Our oven's busted, so I got to do something improvising. See y'all later, monkeys. Some improvising. It sounds like there's a bonfire over at Ghost Starman's house. He's gonna cook his dinner over a trash can fire with like grill on top, and he's gonna do some hamburgers. Anyway, fire drink. Season 2 was like, were they written each episode week to week? Yeah, like, yeah, it felt like there was a bit of disconnection. And again, to your initial point, fire drink, the waste again, I think, was underutilizing Q in the whole season, because he's such a much beloved antagonist that we should have had more of him. Right? And especially because of how much gravity they were trying to attach to Q. Like, anybody who watched it knows what I'm talking about, like, as far as the relationship with Q. That really should have been the underlying theme of the entire thing. But it isn't. It's not until like the last or second last episode that was like, oh, well, this is what's going on. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's kind of infuriating a little bit. And it's the underutilizing. And yeah, and it's like they just want to simply do a bunch of callbacks to stuff, just, you know, because I think they think that the nostalgia factor in Star Trek, that Star Trek fans are nostalgic in the same way that Star Wars fans are nostalgic. I think they're trying to make it like the two, and they're two different things. And the fans show up for two different reasons, right? Star Trek fans show up for good storytelling. Star Wars fans show up for pew pew, right? I mean, what's the deep storytelling in Star Wars? I don't think there is any. Star Trek, tons of it. Entire theses are written about it. Not so much Star Wars, because that's not what fans show up for, and that's fine. That's fine, right? Star Wars doesn't have to be deep storytelling. It can just simply be action and pew pew. Star Trek doesn't have to be action and pew pew, but its strength was always the hopeful nature of the future, even though some of the stories are very dark. But it always has this overarching feeling of hope. Star Wars, that's not there. That's not what Star Wars is about, right? So anyway, yeah. Anyway, Fire Drake. Plus, I felt trauma Picard had was covered during TNG. Yeah, exactly. It like the second season, kind of like the first season, was like more concerned about callbacks and things of that nature rather than moving forward with the character, right? Night Warden Gaming, tying up the data story arc was satisfying to me. First episode of Strange New Worlds pre-classic series was good. I like how things lead to future ideas such as Prime Directive. Yeah, but I thought that was already established in Enterprise, the Prime Directive thing. I thought that was already established in there. Or are we saying that it began in Enterprise and then it was more solidified by the time of Captain Pike? I don't know. I love me Star Trek, but I'm not that deep into the woods as far as, knowing those kind of particulars. I couldn't tell you what date the fucking resolution to institute the Prime Directive went to, Starfleet headquarters. I could not tell you the star date of that shit, so don't ask. The Barfing Sheep. I'm here. Hey, I'm here too. I mean, you're here. I'm here. We're all here. Sid Tyler. There shouldn't be a second season since all life in the galaxy should have been wiped out after season 1. They made the call. You can't just hang up and have the Reapers be... Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah, that was... Again, yeah, it was... It was too many ideas being shoehorned into that last episode. There were, like, if you give that last episode of season 1 a watch, yeah, it's just like they're throwing this. We get 2 minutes of this, 2 minutes of that. You know what I mean? It's just we're going to throw all these ideas and nostalgia, and it's like no, because again, like I said, like Star Trek, I think they're trying to capitalize on nostalgia factor, like Star Wars fans have of Star Wars, and Star Trek fans. Yeah, I'm sure there is a nostalgia factor there, but it's not as prevalent, I feel, in the fandom. Like, yes, there's many fans who love, the Kirk era stuff, the Picard era stuff, and, so on and so forth, right? But we don't need our nostalgia itch scratched through those shows, because a show that does that nostalgia itch scratch better, yeah, you can guess it. People who've watched it, you already know what I'm talking about, is Lower Decks. Star Trek Lower Decks. That does the nostalgia scratch satisfaction better than any other possible show that could do it. Yes, it's animated, and yes, it's a comedy, but yeah, it does it way better than anybody else, and that they should just leave that to that show to scratch that itch for nostalgia. Star Trek really should be telling stories that are relevant to our times, as good Star Trek does. And the long-lasting Star Trek episodes that are really great from the original series all the way to Enterprise. It's hard to include Discovery into it because it's more like J.J. Abrams era Star Trek. But anyway, yeah, are the ones that told really interesting stories, and they last. Those really great stories last, right? So, yeah. Anyway, Sophie, in Enterprise, it was more, yeah, we should have it maybe one day. Yeah, I guess, right? The Enterprise was kind of like the beginning of the idea, and then this show is kind of giving us like, yeah, we're going to start implementing this rule, and and I mean, it would make sense that a bureaucracy like Starfleet would take time to, institute these policies, because you have to have committees overlooking, how it would affect, and blah, blah, I mean, you have all these committees, and it's just, again, the idea of all this shit, like actually running the Federation, gives me a great big headache. I would not be one of the bean counters. I'd rather be on a starship, exploring and getting into fights and meeting new interesting people. Meet some green women. Yeah, you all knew it was. I knew I was going there. Barfing sheep. Leave it to that show to scratch the lower deck. I see what you did there. It's the lower deck. It's scratching it. Fuck. I'm glad I don't have you in the voice chat right now. What time are we at here? Oh, it's already 1:15. Do I need this up anymore? I don't think so. Do I need this up anymore? I don't think so. Let me just double check. I'm sorry. I'm refreshing my Instagram. Just see if anybody posts anything. Nope. Okay, we're good. I can close it. Sorry, I'm going through the newsletter from Games Workshop. It's just just ads. But I checked them out though. I actually read them over and see if there's anything of interest. Fire Drake. I think the writing was poor. Not Laris not using her power used to lead Picard to her. The guy that detained Picard and Guinan, Q and the Borg motivation. Yeah, no, like it's all over the place, right? And it feels more like they couldn't develop enough with just Picard. And so then they had to tell all these other side stories. And, I mean, anybody watching Picard is tuning in for Picard, right? I mean, and so, yeah. It's it's not quite a hot mess. Like the first season of Discovery, for an example of a hot mess, that's a hot mess. Second season of Discovery gets better, and Discovery does get better as it gets more solidified in what kind of stories it's going to tell. And Star Trek Discovery actually is, really the only Star Trek that has moved forward in time as far as Star Trek is concerned. Because even Picard really has not moved forward in time as far as the greater universe of Star Trek, right? It's given us little tidbits of stuff, but it hasn't really got us into the current state of the universe, since Picard has become Admiral and blah, 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 right? And Discovery is the only one that kind of gives us that far future approach. So things have, gotten worse, and then they get a little bit better, and then gotten worse, and then here we are trying to repair, right? And so it allows for an interesting opportunity to tell some interesting stories, and I'm all for it. Again, like I said, like the first season of Star Trek Discovery, hot mess. Second and on gets better. The show does get better for the most part. But Picard, yeah, I mean, they start off, both seasons start off strong, and in the middle somewhere it kind of, it seems like they struggle to kind of figure out the point. And then at the end they have to shoehorn a bunch of ideas in because they didn't give themselves enough time. They didn't properly, pace everything out, right? And explore these ideas. And it gets kind of annoying. Night Warden Gaming. Do you think the storytelling would be better in the shows? They went back to full 24 episode season. Oh, I think so. Yeah. Because then you got plenty of time to breathe, right? Especially if you're going to do multi storylines and, Like, if you're not going to tell it episodic, right? Well, I think if the show is on TV, if it's on TV proper, yeah, it should be 24 seasons. It shouldn't be a 10 episode, like 3-week fucking extravaganza. I mean, like, fucking boring. No. Arturo Patet, there he is. Finally, insert sounds of trumpets here. I'm back for a live show, just for a bit, while I prepare food for the kids. Hi. Sophie, yeah, Captain Kris Snoggin, mere alien girls than Kirk. I don't know about that. Mainly because I'm not sure what snogging means. That sounds like one of those English expressions that, isn't derived in English. But yeah, if snogging means something akin to donkey punching, then maybe. Now everybody's like typing up donkey punching. What's that? Greenleaf Terrain. There he is. Tell me the ways of life, Kris. Oh, wise Kris. The Barfing Sheep. I think Captain Kris would snog most things. No shame intended. None taken. And yeah. I mean, give it a shot, right? Give it the old college try. Even if there's some teeth and stuff like that. Yeah, okay. I mean, don't bite hard. Give it the old college try. Like, why not? You're out in the universe. You're out in the galaxy exploring, and you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to know? How are you going to know unless you stick your pee-pee in and find out, right? I mean, that's the only way you're going to know. Right? I mean, anyway, we're getting a little weird. Fire Drake. I'm telling at the TV, Dr. Cerna Ninja vanishes after Flash. He's around the corner. Chase him like he's 70. No, he gets away. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, I and some of those scenes where you see Patrick Stewart running, yeah, I was kind of like, oh, Patrick, why are they making Patrick run? Like, why are they making this old man run? And his run is kind of Mr. Burns. He's running like this. It's like a Mr. Burns run. I'm like, oh, no. Like, can we not let Patrick rest? Like, let's let the man retire, or, let him collect coupons or start knitting or something. Like, let's just let the man rest, for God's sakes. Like, do we really need to have him running around? Like, for God's sakes. I just feel bad for him. After, it's like watching some of those scenes where he's running. I'm like, oh, they couldn't get a stunt double. Patrick was probably too much of a man to say, no, I don't want a stunt double. I'll do it myself. And then he runs around and it's like, oh, it's fucking Mr. Burns. Fuck. God damn it. Fire Drake. I like Discovery, but I see why people don't like new Star Trek. No, and you know what? I don't hate new Star Trek. I just think it's very uninspired, and it feels more like it is the higher ups. It's the execs who control this property, who think that they're going to get a whole bunch of viewership and a whole bunch of money because the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek did so well, that they think that that's the route they need to take. That's what people showed up for. That's what they think people showed up for when watching that first J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie. They think people showed up for that, but it wasn't that. It was new Star Trek, a new Star Trek movie. That's why people showed up, because people were starved for new Star Trek. And in typical J.J. Abrams fashion, it was full of MacGuffins with no payoff. He's famous for that. The Barfing Sheep. I'm done with smut for now. I had some pent up dumb shit to get out. There was a joke there. I know there's a joke there. Anyway, Fire Drake. It's all guns blazing. Just finished Orville. Really enjoyed it, and not just laughs. Should be the new Trek. Should be what new Trek should be. 100% I concur. Yes, Fire Drake. Orville. Seth MacFarlane, as the rumor goes, he went to CBS, I think CBS, and said, yeah, I'd like to do Star Trek. And he wanted Star Trek. Because nobody else was doing fuck all with Star Trek at the time, right? And then he was like, I want to do Star Trek. And then they were in talks, and then all of a sudden talks fell apart, and they didn't want to do Star Trek with him. And that was their mistake. That was CBS's. That's when they didn't hire Seth MacFarlane, a man who we all know in his long history of creating, content as far as, Family Guy and his movies and his references. He'll reference Star Trek at least once in any project he does. He will reference it. Family Guy has tons of Star Trek references. Next Generation specifically. And yeah, they should have gave it to him because he knew and loved the source material. And in fact, to draw a parallel, because that's what those execs, they think. They want Star Trek to be like Star Wars. They want it to be that kind of, the same kind of thing. And they're not. They're completely different things. But definitely, if they had Seth MacFarlane at the helm of Star Trek years and years and years ago, when he asked, as the story goes, he would have been, to draw the equivalency, he would have been like the Filoni or the Favreau for Star Wars. Seth MacFarlane would have been the Favreau of Star Trek. And if anybody doesn't understand that, then I can further explain. But yeah, and Star Trek would have been awesome. Star Trek would have been great again. Make Star Trek great again. Yeah, Star Trek would have been great again under MacFarlane. 100%. I have complete confidence in that response. That Seth MacFarlane would have treated it well, and he would have gave the fans what Star Trek fans want. Longtime fans. And he would have brought new people in as well. Because rekindling what Star Trek did well in the past would work again. And in fact, that's why I think Strange New Worlds, they're dipping back into that well. Because they know Star Trek fans are not here for the flashy gimmicks and lens flares and laser beams and stuff like that. No. We want compelling stories. That's what we want. So, yeah. Anyway. Arturo Patet, don't fool yourselves. All of us would be red shirts. Sophie, snogging is kissing. Oh, is it? Snogging is kissing? Okay. I was going to go somewhere with a joke with that, but I won't. Fire Drake, full of MacGuffins and no payoff. Story of my life. Exactly, right? Exactly. Barbecue, I'd love to see Trek series based around a fighter jet sized spaceship combat. Yeah, I don't even know if there's fighters. I guess there's kind of fighters with the runabouts and things like that, But like Star Trek isn't like that. I mean, like it's not like that. It's not Star Wars. It's not Star Wars. So trying to make the two, similar is useless because they're not the same. They are fundamentally different. The Barfing Sheep, I know that's not what the series is, but I like to break the mold every now and then. Yeah, I mean, like, sure. I think a Star Trek show would need to be telling a compelling story. Something that many people in our current time can relate to. And okay, here we go. So here's the idea right off the top of my head. People love it. People tune in for this bullshit. So what if you did a Star Trek show that was about the dangers of the workplace? So it's like basically, ice road truckers, deadliest catch, right? Working on oil refineries. You know what I mean? Like all these real world dangerous jobs that we have currently and how these people are exploited. Okay? In most cases. Or even farming for that matter. But tell it within the context of Star Trek. It is about a family who, or a crew of people and aliens, whatever it is, right? Just give your whatever you want to do there. And it is about them working some dangerous dilithium hauler or, the dangers of dilithium hauling, right? Yeah, ice space trekkers. Yeah, ice space trekkers. You know what I mean? Like, again, if you really want to tell, oh geez, the deadliest snatch. that's a different show. That's a different show, buddy. It's a different show. But yeah, you know what? But I think you get my meaning here. Again, this is an idea off the top of my head, just as we were talking about it here. So it's not, fully realized. And yeah, you got to tweak the idea a bit, of course. But yeah, something along that lines, where you're basically telling what is life like for blue collar people and aliens in the Star Trek universe. Is it so happy? Because in Star Trek, especially in the original series and Next Gen, humanity feels like it's at a point where all other concerns are beneath us, and it's the aliens who need help, and and humans encounter them, because it's basically telling it from the point of view that obviously the current human society is completely devoid and is cannot relate to the struggles of racism or inequity, or what I mean, all these real world concerns. And that's why that is the case. It's so that the viewer can gain a fresh perspective on these ideas. That's why they do it in storytelling. Right? So, yeah. Anyway. Fire Drake. I think that's Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, and the last iteration of Battlestar Galactica. Apparently, we're supposed to get some new Battlestar as well. Apparently. But yeah, because it's supposed to be getting a redo, I think. They're going to redo it again, which sounds kind of lame at first, but who knows if they do it well. But so I don't know. Fire Drake 18, freighter captains, right? Yeah, freighter captains. You know what I mean? Like just the blue collar people who just trying to live their lives in the Star Trek universe, right? Now, humans, it doesn't sound so bad because like basically replicators, the technology of replicators alleviates so much as far as empathizing with, future humans, as it were, because they don't have to worry about getting clothes. They don't have to worry about eating, right? Because as long as they have energy to their replicators, it can produce whatever matter they need, right? So, it is kind of hard to kind of draw up those parallels, right? But anyway, Arturo Patet. I'll just say Galaxy Quest, the parody movie, is better than Star Wars and Star Trek combined. And then I leave the chat while the monkeys throw poop at me. Galaxy Quest is a really good. Galaxy Quest is more of a parody of Star Trek than it is Star Wars. In fact, I don't really know what in Galaxy Quest is a parody of Star Wars. It is almost entirely a parody of Star Trek. It is actually not Star Wars at all. What is like Star Wars in Galaxy Quest? Everybody who's seen Galaxy Quest, what is the parody of Star Wars? I'm trying to think now. I can't think of anything. Galaxy Quest is a parody of Star Trek. I can't think of anything. Let me know. In Galaxy Quest, what is a parody of Star Wars? I don't even know. Sophie, don't want to think about what peeps would do if there were holodecks. Oh God, yeah. Well, they allude to it in the show. In Next Gen, they allude to what happens in the holodecks, right? But the Orville, flat out, in typical Seth MacFarlane fashion, he just flat out says, yeah, they're having orgies in the holodecks. You know what I mean? So, again, Seth MacFarlane would have been great for Star Trek. I'm of the view that MacFarlane would have been the Filoni and Favreau of Star Trek. He would have. They made a huge mistake in not taking him on. And that is typical of execs and people who lack imagination and who are only looking at the bottom line of things. Yeah, they lack imagination, they lack perspective, and they cannot see the vision. They lack vision. Barfing Chief, Spaceballs is Star Wars. Yes, Spaceballs. The Spaceballs is largely a parody of Star Wars, but it also has some other things in there. Obviously, like Alien and What are some other ones? I'm trying to think of what other, like, there's a whole bunch of parodies in it. But I mean, it's typical Mel Brooks, so, you know, it's not just always one thing. And that's the beauty of a parody, is that you can make fun of anything. Like, so one of the greatest parodies, and I cannot even watch the original and take it seriously anymore, is Scary Movie. I love Scary Movie. It's a parody of Scream. If you've not watched it, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but yeah, it is such a good parody of Scream that I cannot watch Scream without thinking of the silly jokes from Scary Movie. And so I can't take Scream or any of these other horror films seriously anymore, because all I see are the stupid Scary Movie jokes and all of it. You know. So, yeah. Fire Drake, I can the episode where they thought out people from the time from our time on TNG. One of them was money hungry, and I could see him trying to amass wealth in the new age. Yeah, what would a man do like that, right? What would it be like if you had a billionaire, a Bezos, a Musk, I don't know, name your billionaire, and they froze themselves and they thought him out in the 24th century, and you know, all those resources gone. What does that person do? Do they try to rebuild that pretend empire of theirs? You know, or do they try and find a new way of, you know, being? Again, there's room there to tell interesting stories with a character, right? Just within that context of the universe. Yeah, that's a great idea, you know? In fact, write the script and send it to CBS. You might get yourself a payday. Barfing Sheep, what happens in the holodeck stays in the holodeck. Always, right? Because you always delete your history. Delete the cookies. Especially on holodecks that are public, right? That are everybody's available to. Yeah, you definitely, you know, you want to clear the cookies and clear the history on your holodeck experience, because somebody goes in after you and it's like, oh, what the fuck happened in here? And they look at the history, it's like, oh, what the fuck? Good God, man. You get reported to the counselor for sure. Arturo Patet, nothing, but the poop still flies. Fire Drake, Bortus, my favorite character. Yeah, Bortus, yeah. It was the smoking one was hilarious. When they took up smoking, him and his partner. Yeah. Fire Drink. Also, I hope holodecks are self-cleaning. I hope so. Good God. Right? Because, like, in the holodeck, right, they always have to put on their costumes and stuff because they have to come in, because the holodeck isn't going to, like, you know, change their outfit or anything like that. They got to come in with the outfit into the holodeck, right? So, whatever's on you, or in you, I suppose, you know, is not part of the holodeck, right? So, what? I don't know. I don't even want to get into the weeds of what the experience is like in a holodeck, and your favorite program is some fucking some bukkake party or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, oh my God. Oh man, yeah. So hopefully in Star Trek they master the technology where holodecks are self-cleaning. Hopefully, I hope, for God's sakes, I hope. Everybody be going to sickbay for STDs because somebody didn't clean up after themselves. It's like the gym, right? It's like the gym. You go to the gym, you got to wipe down the equipment after you use it, right? Because you're sweating all over it. So I'd imagine if you go into the holodeck and you're into some, you know, rigorous activities, you should, like, it should be a courtesy thing to wipe it down, right? I would assume they would have a policy like that, right? Wow, this is a really weird conversation. You know what? Let's jump into the emails. Email time. Yeah. If you're wearing headphones or earbuds or AirPods or those big cones, like the big spongy ones, the headphones, just like give you the big Princess Leia buns on the side of your head. If you're wearing those, any of those devices, you want to turn it up or down, because here it comes. Yeah, let's do this one. Email time. Email time. Oh, is that it? I was spaced out there for a second. I might have got too much sleep last night. I went to bed actually kind of early, but anyway, this one is from our good buddy Arturo, who's actually in the chat today. Dear Kris, I hope this mail finds you in good spirits. It is. I'm right now suffering the effects of a moderate, according to my doctor, case of COVID-19. Nothing much, he said, but I felt sometimes so bad that I didn't know if I was going to see the end of this. Jeez. That's rough, bud. Now, on to business. The micromarines I showed last week wasn't 3D printed. I'm my own 3D printer. Just a little putty, some time sculpting while at work, and voila. Now, as this is a painting show, some pictures to lighten up. These are some sculpts made a while ago. Last pictures are a single head that I'm transforming into, I don't know, maybe a superhero or something. On my next mail, I'll send more pics from official minis, so just wait a little. No, I don't want to wait. I want them now. All right. Ooh, this is some freaky shit right there. Jesus. Hold on. So he's only 1 inch tall. Ooh, wow. Now, is the armature just so that you can work around it, or is that armature like part of where this is going? I don't know. I don't know what your process is, but that alone right there is kind of freaking me out. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm freaked out. It's a good sculpt though. Nice face. Now, if, like doing something like this, like it obviously, like it doesn't look like green stuff or neatite epoxy. Is this milliput or is this something other or something else that you're sculpting with? I would like to know. Oh, what's this? Looks like Mechanicus holding a dinosaur head. What am I looking at? Commissar with the mumps. His jaw sticking out. He's like, Or he's doing the impression there, the gangster from way back in the day. Ah, see? That's what he looks like. I'm not making fun of it. That looks cool. Oh, is he like a little tripod? Is this completely original sculpt? That's really good. I'm just realizing that I don't really see anything that looks like it came from like a box set. Like this looks like a completely original sculpt. And so is he an original sculpt too? Huh. I like the 5 o'clock shadow you did on him too. Yeah, these are completely original sculpts, aren't they? The way he's pointing that gun is like, what are you talking about? And bang. You're dead for heresy. Nice paint job on it too. Like it's really good. Yeah, I gotta know, dude though. Like, is this entirely original sculpt, or did you just like make the body and then attach bits, or? Yeah, I need a bit of an explanation here, bud. It's like it's solid work. Was that it? Yeah, that was it for that one. Second email. Okay. Yeah, second email. Let me just jump to the question or comments here. Arturo. Second, I thought, what kind of gym does Kris go to? That wasn't a response to that. Fire Drake, just talking about the favorite holodeck programs. The armature is part of it, just not finished yet. Oh, okay. So there is going to be more to it that you're gonna bring out. Okay, I got you. I thought maybe you were just sculpting a head and then you're just gonna snip it off and then attach it to something. Got you. It's green stuff, but it's an epoxy putty. If you submerge the thing in hot water, it accelerates the hardening. Oh, really? And I had a coffee in hand. Yeah, cause see, like I know for regular green stuff, 2-part epoxy, kneadite, UV light helps speed up its cure. In a pinch, you can just put regular green stuff out in the sunlight, and the sunlight will help speed up the curing. It's not going to make it like super fast. It's just, if it would take 3 hours, it's going to take like 2 hours, right? Like it's that kind of speeding up. It's not like it hardens like Medusa, It's not like that. What? Barfing sheep, what did the coffee taste like after? What? Fire Drake, bang, you're dead. For heresy. Arturo, so coffee stains and green stuff, all original except the last cannon on the Tech Priest. Oh, okay. That was coffee stains on it. Oh. Ew. I'm not judging, but ew. As promised, more picks. Those are my attempts to find a better way to understand the Space Marine armor. Not my best work, but practice does make you better. So practice, practice, practice. Let's have a peek. And this is you sculpting Space Marines. Or are you painting Space Marines? Are you painting Space Marines or are you sculpting Space? Because this looks like they look like regular Space Marines. But you entirely sculpted these? Am I understanding that correct? That's really good. I like the poses. He kind of looks like he's asking a question. He's like, Sarge, question over here. Where was the Land Raider parked? Are these custom heads you did? Well, Arturo, now you gotta tell me, like, did you sculpt these entire Space Marines, or did you? Because if you sculpted these Space Marines, man, that's some shit right there. Like, that's impressive. Or are these just your paint jobs? I'm not sure. The way I read that email, it sounded like you sculpted this shit. So I was a little curious. Nice work on him. Yeah. I like this Imperial Fist. I like the Imperial Fist. I just like how he's kind of like, Sarge, what was the orders again? It's like if Space Marines were a bunch of potheads or something. Sarge, Arturo, the coffee tasted like freedom and monkey butthole. What? Barfing sheep, Sarge, do we have to wear helmets? Well, now you frickin' do. Arturo just painted the Marines. Okay, the Marines are just painted. I thought, because the way it was sounding is like we were continuing the conversation from sculpting. I was like, did you fucking sculpt these? Like, that's pretty goddamn good. Fire Drake, hate to ask, but why do you know what monkey butthole tastes like? I mean, who doesn't? Really, the question becomes, Fire Drake, why don't you know what monkey butthole tastes like? Arturo, come on, Kris, it's a painting show, not sculpting. I'm not even sure what this show is. I mean, I've been talking about Star Trek for the last half hour, so. And honestly, I don't like being in categories. I like being free to explore whatever and whenever. Who knows where the winds take us? It's being very adaptable, right? I like being very adaptable. And yeah, if I made myself just painting related and I could not deviate from that, that would be boring and I would get out of it right away. So if I was only making videos just about just painting, I would shoot myself in the head. Yeah. Not this head, I'd hold it hostage for a number of hours with a gun pressed up aside. You're going to do what I tell you. No. Everybody's like, what the fuck is he talking about? Anyway, Arturo, do not ask that question, my dear. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, how do you not know what monkey butthole tastes like? It's not never. I mean, anybody, any pedestrian can know what it smells like, but the real connoisseurs know what it tastes like. Fire Drake. All I know is I hate being excluded. He's heading out to the zoo right now. He's putting his jacket on. He's like, oh, fuck, I'm going to the zoo right now. Fuck it. I'm going. I don't care who I have to pay off. I'm going to taste the monkey's butthole today. Today, this far, no farther. Let's do another email. This one is from our good buddy Nathaniel. Greetings, Kris and fellow Monkai. Just a quick demo of my mini of the month, April 2022. Discord members have already seen it. They've already seen it. CNC, welcome as always. Until next time, salutations. Nathaniel, a.k.a. Marcus. Oh! Let's back up a bit here. Yeah. I like the colors. What is going on with that flesh? It looks like he started off with like a light pale flesh tone and then hit it with like a thin purple or something. I definitely like the not the armor plates. The, what is that called? The chitin? The chitin? I don't know. But anyway, I like the metallic on the armor. I think that's really, really fun. Is it a color shift on the talons? No, it's just on the armor plates. It's very interesting on the flesh tone though. I don't know if I'd push it as black in the recesses and the holes and such. I think I would have gone with a deeper iteration of even purple, like taking purple and adding a bit of black to it and using that to get your deepest shadows. I think would have been more helpful than using a pure black. But I mean, in miniature and you have a whole bunch and you're getting through them and you want to do up an army, then obviously, yeah, you go to that route. But if you're gonna be concerned about the paint job and you're doing it for pretty pictures and stuff like that, then yeah, I think I wouldn't have used a black. I would have gone with darker purple or I don't know, even a dark blue, I suppose. Dark blue would have worked really well. Almost to black. Just enough so you can still see that underlying base color of it. But yeah, it would have been really, really dark. I like the colors though. It's an interesting color scheme. Oh, look at are the little drippy bits clear? Okay, how'd you do the drippy bits? I'm curious now. It's like this little venom thing going on, right? Or is it blood? I thought it was more like venom. Either way, it looks cool. What did you use for that? Because it looks like it's translucent. So I'm going to assume... Because it doesn't look like blood for the blood god. But I could be wrong. Could be blood for the blood god for all I know. I don't know. Yeah, the color... Is it a color shift on the armor? Because it looks like it goes from a green to almost a yellow, like a gold. I realize it looks like it's edged in gold, but he might have deliberately edged it, but I don't know. Are you here today, Nathaniel? I do not see his name anywhere. Anyway. Whoop, shit. That was the last pick anyway. Yeah, I'm curious. What did you do for the drippy bits, Nathaniel? I'm kind of curious because it doesn't look like blood for the blood guy. It could be. I don't know, but because the one picture is really, really interesting and it looks good here. I'm gonna go back to this first picture here. Yeah, I like this. I like this picture. I like this angle and yeah. The only thing I would say is now, mind you, I mean, like if you have like 500 of these to paint, then yeah, keep going and, get it done. But if you were more concerned about pretty pictures and technique and, refining details, yeah, those, I wouldn't have used a black or started with a black. I probably would have went gray or white and then pushed those colors down, right? Start with the mid, like these days I've become a big fan of starting with the middle and just going up a little bit and coming down a little bit and being done with color, right? So even if it's white, black, whatever color. And so start with the mid-tone of wherever I'm imagining that color be in the spectrum. So like, for example, if I'm talking blue, but I want the overall feeling of it to be dark blue, then I would go with the mid-tone of my imagined dark blue color so that I can come up a bit to go brighter, just a few, and come down a bit to create the shadows, almost to a black, maybe, possibly, if that's where I was going or what I was thinking. And, if I was going with a lighter blue, then it would be the mid-tone of the light blue that I was envisioning, so that I could come up to almost a pure white if need be, but come down just to a darker blue, and I wouldn't be all the way to a black, right? Because you see how I'm imagining the color. Is that making sense? That you're imagining that color graph going from white to black, just like on your computer, right? How you can see the color, and it goes from blue all the way through. So it goes from very, very light blue all the way to a black blue, right? And you're imagining, where do I imagine that this part on the model that I'm painting, where does it fit on that graph as far as where that color sits in saturation and in value? And then, so pick a spot that's going to be what I'm imagining. And so then I start with the mid-tone value so that I can come up to that brightness and come down to that level of darkness. And it's kind of, I think about it like that in photography as well. Coming up a stop and going down a stop, right? And, kind of getting all of the mid-tones. You have that kind of visual approach in photography for HDR type photography, where you go a stop up, you take a picture, you go a stop down, take a picture, and then you take an exposure at middle exposure or proper exposure, and then you combine all three, and that gives you your really bright values, it gives you your really dark values, and gives you all the gradients in between. And that's the way I think about color oftentimes, right? So yeah, especially when I'm plotting out how I'm going to paint something, especially if I'm going to try to, spend some time on a model and go for, a quality type of paint job. But anyway. Rio Mew 36. This is the first time I've been able to catch this show live, or a live show, in nearly a year. You're talking about what a monkey butthole tastes like. I've missed you guys. Yeah, I mean, we can tune in at episode 380 or episode 15, and we're talking about monkey buttholes at some point. At some point, it does enter the conversation, and it's best not to hide from it. It's just to embrace it and find out for ourselves. What does a monkey's butthole taste like? We know what they smell like, but do we truly know what they taste like? Now, when we're talking monkey buttholes, are we talking about the monkey being still alive? Or are we talking about, like, lop that off and then we're eating with some, like, HP sauce or A1? Because then it just tastes like A1, right? You can pretty much eat anything as long as you put A1 on it and just eat it, right? So. Oh, stir fry. Put it in a stir fry. Monkey butthole in a stir fry. I'm sure that is a thing. I'm sure somebody's done it. Yeah, this is entirely... It took like 20 monkeys, all their buttholes, lopped off, put it in the stir fry with bean sprouts and a little bit of soy on rice. And that's dinner. Anyway. Fire Drake, there are so many problems with this show. You have a little special to be here. You got to be a little bit special. Yeah, 100%. Arturo, the first the holodeck thing, then monkey butts, then shooting the head. I'm starting to think that this is not a PG-13 show. PG-13? No, hell, God, no. Barfy Cheap. It's rated M for, my God, here we go again. Strap in, kids. We're going for a ride. Fire drink looks like GW technical. I don't know, because I mean, maybe it was just how much light was penetrating through the little globules. But yeah, the red didn't look like blood for the blood god. It looked brighter red. It didn't have that darker value that blood for the blood god has, right? But anyway, yeah. Barfing sheep. It's the show for us, the ones who stay and shine in the madness and flinging of fecal matter. Arturo, I was promised the best show in painting, sculpting, and gaming hobby world. I am not disappointed one bit so far, while imagining Fire Drake asking the guard at the zoo about monkey butts. Just give me 5 minutes with these monkeys, please. Just 5 minutes. All I'm asking for is 5 minutes. I just gotta know. Like my impression of Fire Drake at the zoo right now, right? Or after the show. He's going right after the show. He's getting his jacket on. He's saying, I'm gonna go taste a goddamn monkey butt. Goes to the zoo, pays his entry fee, heads over to the monkey cage, talks to the handler, says, hey, give me 5 minutes with these monkeys, or one of the monkeys. I'll make it worth your while. I just need to find out something. It's gnawing at me. It's gnawing at my soul. And so then he gets a hold of a monkey. Whatever monkey. Doesn't really matter, right? Of course, for the show, really, it should be a tamarin monkey, right? That's the monkeys with the big mustaches. He gets a little monkey, and he's like, okay. And he's like, you know what I mean? Now, for everybody who's listening, that was me miming picking up a monkey. Anyway, I don't think I need to explain it, I think. Oh, shit. Will Holick, monkey. Yeah, monkey bum. Monkey bum. Arturo. Kris, 113, embrace the monkey butthole. Yeah, just embrace it. Wait, was that a title? Did we use embrace the monkey butthole? Have we used that as a title? I don't even know. Will Holick. This how I chauffeur it to my taste. Yeah. Ro, I've seen that hentai. The guy just tastes like banana. Tastes a bit like almonds. Barfing sheep, butthole taste. The butthole taste test. Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know how we go any further than that. What time are we at here? Holy moly, it's almost 2 o'clock. We're almost done. 120 minutes, kids. It's only 120 minutes. Don't give me any sass. All right, here's our last email. This one is from our good buddy Legion Miniatures. Hi, Kris and monkeys. I finished repainting a squad of Forge World Terminators that I bought 7-8 years ago. Yeah, we've all been there. Back then, I just threw base paints and non-oil on them without properly removing mold lines first. They took part in many battles over the years, but began to look more and more out of place in the army as my painting skills improved. So I fixed the worst mold line issues, and painted over the old paint job where necessary, while using the opportunity to add some fun bits to the squad. Best regards from Germany, Legion Miniatures, or Leg Ion. Is it Leg Ion or is it Legion? Anyway, everybody's screaming at their screens right now. Kris, learn to fucking read. So these are updated miniatures. So he's still currently using. Oh, it's really good work on the chevrons there, the hazard stripes. It's really good. Like I can see those are free-handed, but like the line spacing and everything like that is really uniform, and it's really good. Yeah, some good shit, man. Yeah, and of course, these are Forge World resins, so you can always see a slight texture to the model surface. Oh, look at this. This is a before and after. Oh. See, I like this. Okay, well, see, like your old paint job. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a gamer's paint job, right? It serves. It's good. It's clean. There's even some highlights. Like, there's nothing wrong with that paint job on the left. That's a good paint job. The one on the right, far more love and added details. A little bit more color depth. A little bit more concern over highlight and, you know, shadow placement and such. I love the blood splatter. That's really cool. Now, how do we know this really is the same model? How do we know that he hasn't just simply picked up another model and said, oh, no, this is my old paint job. I just, you know, fixed it up. Now, I believe him. You know how I know? You know how I believe him? Is on the chest. There's that little smear on the chest. I don't know if that's shaved something off or shaved it down, or if it was a part of the mold process. But he had the same mark on that chest. Also, your highlighting on his belt buckle is the same. You didn't touch it. Yeah, I'm going all fucking full-on detective mode here. Going back and forth between the images to see if it truly is the same model. Yeah, and you know what? If I do discover, it will not have been a waste of my time or my life. I did something worthwhile. Oh, shit. No, it's really good work, Legion. It's really good work. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's all caked on. I like the inclusion of the little servitor as well. Yeah, and sometimes all it takes is just to come back in and, you know, push that color depth, redefine some of those edges, right? Yeah, definitely this feels more of like your current ability. A little bit more depth. Yeah, like the highlighting of the lenses, you know, making it more gem-like. Yeah, it's really good work, man. I like them. I like your freehanding too. Like the little checker pattern on the hip. Yeah. Oh, is that it? Oh, I wanted more. Yeah, that's really good stuff. Sorry. I was like right in on my screen here, like looking at the pictures. No, it's really good work, Legion. Really good stuff. And yeah, I really like this first picture of the comparison between the previous paint job and your current painting. Yeah. That's really good stuff. It'd be kind of interesting to see more of you out there. I'm talking about everybody now. More of you out there who have an old paint job who you still currently use, but could use an update because you know that your ability and you know your expertise has improved to a level that, you know, it starts to feel out of place next to your other paint jobs. If anybody else out there has that kind of same situation like that, or is planning to do something, please send me pictures, because that would be really cool. Fire Drake. Hey, I'm gonna take another 10 minutes of this. I'm only gonna take another 10 minutes of this. Barbecue Sheep said the monkey at the zoo. I'm only gonna take 10 more minutes of this. Fire Drake. Like I would really drive 10 minutes down the street to the zoo, use a coupon for 20% off, tip a friend of mine $50 for a one-on-one with a monkey for 5 minutes. Come on, guys. You sound insane. Yeah, he sounds already premeditated. He's on his phone right now, texting his buddy. Yeah, so what time should I stop by? And Fire Drake. First off, Fred doesn't take bribes. No, I mean, you can take bribes without taking bribes because you can be compensated for your time. So, is it really a bribe if you are being compensated for your time? We might be hitting down a dark gray area. Making those kind of arguments is like, really? We're going to advocate bribery? Yeah, we're going to advocate it. That's what I do. I advocate for the criminals. No, I don't advocate for the criminals. Anyway, what time are we at here? 7 minutes overtime. Okay. If you're brand new to this hobby, you want help with your color scheme, maybe you have questions for technique or color usage or whatever it might be, you're brand new and there's just so much information and you're just confused by it all, feel free to ask your questions here. Feel free. I've heard them all 100 times before, and I'm sure I'm going to hear them 100 more times. So feel free to ask your questions, either here or in the Discord, but feel free. And of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can always submit your questions to Kris at wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send off as links to other sites because I won't do it, and it's annoying just because there's ads and shit like that. Also in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has the links to the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there, and there's only one rule in the Discord, and that is don't be a dick. That's it. That's the only rule. Don't be a dick. Anybody can stay, post, whatever. Just don't be a dick. Pretty straightforward, right? So, yeah. Sorry, I'm wiping my nose and sniffing a lot. It's like I have a wicked coke habit. I don't, I assure you. I don't make enough money to have a good coke habit going. If I did, though, yeah. If I was making like millions of dollars and I looked really strung out and had like fucking powder all over my nose and everything like that, yeah, you'd say, oh yeah, well, yeah, Kris has a coke habit. And if my nose was all deviated inwards and pushed in, yeah. What is it, deviated septum or some shit like that you get like with really bad coke habits? Anyway. Right, ending spiel. wayofthebrush.com. T-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world? They're wearing a Way the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which I haven't updated yet because I've gotten a few pictures of you guys for the shrine. So, yeah. Anyway, also the other plan is I want to update my intro. I know I've talked about this many times in the past, but I want to update the intro and I would like to have it just as a collage, a montage of all you guys. Set to music. Just a quick little thing. Just all your faces. You know? Because again, this show is all about you guys. And helping you guys. Answering your questions. Providing a bit of guidance. A bit of illumination. Whatever way you want to look at it. That is the entire point of this show. That's how it was first envisioned. And we've kind of deviated a bit. But for the most part, we're still mostly there. So we're still on track, given that I've been doing this since 2013. Yeah, this show's been running since 2013. So almost 10 years. Almost. Let that fucking sink in. I've been doing this almost 10 years. Ugh. Anyway. wayofthebrush.com also has links for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, this channel would not be able to continue to do what it is that I do. And so a huge thank you to all my patrons for their continued support, and to all you brand new ones, a huge thank you and welcome. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, commenting, ringing the bell, praising the omnissiah of the algorithm gods also helps as well. All it takes is a couple clicks of a button and you're helping me out a great deal. And so a huge thank you to everybody who does that as well. Big thank you to Carl, Guymere Alfer, Beer and Blood Bowl. It's a YouTube channel. Check it out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles to play before the email segments of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the begin and end of the show. And so always much love to my baby brother Evan. And if you're into rare comics, EB Comics, it's in the description below. Check it out. All right. Any last words from our monkey brethren? No, I'm still stuck on Fire Drake's fucking. I'm going to drive 10 minutes down to the zoo. Use the coupon. I like how he had to include, I'm going to use the coupon for the zoo. Anyway, we're men looking for a man. Will Hollick. I found my old dwarves, thunders with Christmas hats. Got to paint them again. Yeah, paint them up. Yeah, like I like to see some before and afters. You know what I mean? Like your old paint jobs, but you felt like, you know, because you still use those models. They're not just like, you know, display piece or anything like that. Like, you know, and updated with your current talents, right? Your evolved painting mastery, as it were. That'd be cool. I'd like to see that. Arturo, is it a bribe if you're not found? Yes, but you know, monkeys. Sophie, have fun weekend, everyone. Yeah, you too, Sophie. Row. Fucking Pepsi person. Fucking Pepsi person. Fucking Pepsi person. What? Say what? Pepsi. Fire Drake. A lot of mole hair around, huh, Kris? We almost talked about painting today. That was a close one. Almost. We almost got to some painting. Arturo, 10 years. Wow. Yeah, 10 years. 10 years. 2013 is when I started doing Way the Brush. 2013. Well, I mean, think about it, right? This is a weekly show doing, this is episode 380. 380? Yeah, 380. Doing this once a week, most weeks, right? 52 weeks in a year. So 1 year would have just been 52 episodes. If you didn't miss a weekend, right? So, yeah, do the math. No, you do the math. Dark Commission, evening, Kris and Monkeys. Evening. We're ending here, buddy. I'm sorry, you showed up at the end. Fire Drake, later, monkeys. Romew 36. It was a coke joke. Oh, because I was talking about doing a lot of coke, right? Yeah, that completely went over my head. Sorry, I got the last bit of my coffee. Oh, I still got some coffee here. It's probably cold as shit.
God.
Anyway, yeah, we're done. We might have learned something today. I doubt it, but again, keep those emails coming in. Use the hashtag Way of the Brush on Instagram. You can use them elsewhere, I suppose, but Instagram, because we have that segment of the show. So anyway, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the day, get some hobbying done, or don't. You know, take some time for yourself. Hug a loved one. Take care of yourselves. Make sure your bills are paid. Hug a loved one. Careful where you're going out there. Hopefully we make it through all this silliness that the world's going through. And yeah, just stay safe, people. Stay safe. Just stay safe. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys later. Later? After? After implies that we're going to go do something later. You know what we haven't done in a while? Is the Discord after party, as it were. Maybe we'll have to return to that, where we all just jump on Discord and bullshit for a bit. Maybe we'll have to return to that. Not today. I got shit to do. But